not doing anything. Imagine what happens to people that do something. You know what I'm saying? And because I'm talking about some people that do stuff, I wanted to bring up another clip for you regarding a recent body cam that was released for, there was a protest about a week or two ago regarding Lekeian Woods. If you haven't heard about it, Lekeian Woods was involved in I don't want to call it a police brutality case, but he was arrested. And let me show you guys what happened.
I'm Anthony Alston.
And I'm Heather Crawford. We are learning more tonight about a traffic stop in the arrest of Lekeian Woods. It's a Jacksonville case that has made headlines around the country. Tonight, Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters held a briefing as he released this video from last Friday.
And Sheriff Waters says this all started after he ordered officers to find out who is responsible for the shooting death of a 3-year-old at the JTB apartments more than a week ago.
Now, let's start with that. Lekeian Woods apparently is a person of interest in a case regarding a little 3-year-old girl who was hit randomly in some gunfire and died. Okay? Now, that story is the one that should be getting the protest, but we'll get to that. So, they're, I guess, sweeping the area trying to find the possible suspects for this other crime, and they run into Lekeian Woods, who is a person of interest, and I guess they go to arrest him, and they went kind of crazy.
Our Taylor Levesque is on your side tonight. She's joining us live. And Taylor, how did officers cross paths with Woods and the other men involved in all of this?
Well, the sheriff said that while officers were patrolling the area of Toledo and Powers Avenue, they came across a group that had crossed paths with someone of interest in that shooting. Officers say they watched Woods and other men before pulling over that car. Here's a video of that stop. On Friday, Jacksonville sheriff's officers pulled over this truck after conducting surveillance in the area of Toledo Road and Powers Avenue. The officer is holding the men in the truck at gunpoint. The driver and passenger comply with officers' orders, but Lekeian Woods gets out and starts to run. An officer chases after him.
I'm gonna tase you. I'm gonna tase you.
Woods trips multiple times as he is running from the officer, who deploys the taser.
Bow.
Get on the ground.
Woods is tased and falls forward. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says this impact caused bleeding and swelling to Woods' face. As Woods resists, another officer comes to help. He repeatedly knees Woods in the upper body. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Chief of Professional Standards Mike Schell says Woods was resisting and the officer used force to gain control.
Give it a hand. Give it a hand.
One officer holds Woods' head down while another attempts to handcuff him. The officer then flips Woods over and strikes him repeatedly. Woods, visibly bloody, still resists, and another officer elbows him in the face.
I can't really see all the resistance, but he's definitely catching one right now. That's a fist right there, if you can see. That's a fist punching him.
Sheriff T.K. Waters says officers did use force against Woods, but says they acted appropriately and within department policy.
All force, all violence is ugly. And just because force is ugly does not mean it is unlawful or contrary to policy.
But Sheriff Waters says the cell phone video taken of Woods' arrest by someone nearby was intentionally altered to imply one of the responding officers kicked Woods as he was handcuffed. He says this is not what happened.
It looked like he was either stretching or he hurt it. So we did this for a couple of times and then he turned around. When he turned around, he just did this. And it looks like the video was reversed to make it appear he had kicked the individual.
This is the mugshot of 24-year-old Lekeian Woods after he was arrested Friday. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says he is affiliated with a local undocumented group connected with violent crimes. Woods is on felony probation for a prior armed robbery.
All right, so give me a second here. Let me process this. All right, guys. So they beat the crap out this boy. And the sheriff is saying, or captain is saying that it was justified. That's what the captain's saying. But was it justified because he was running? I mean, I guess they said it was resisting arrest. And I don't know if you can get resisting arrest from, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you can get resisting arrest from that. Like, I mean, let me let them finish, because I'm going to get into the secondary story. And it's kind of like, if somebody kills a 3-year-old, how much sympathy are we really supposed to have in their arrest? I don't know. It's a slippery slope. So let's let her finish up, this lady.
The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says this remains under administrative review, but the officers involved are still on duty.
Still
Live in downtown
on duty.
Jacksonville, Taylor Levac, First Coast News, on your side.
Taylor, thank you.
All right, so they got some justice protests going on, justice for Lekeian, and I'm still watching this case, right? I'm still really trying to where's my OBS at? I'm still really trying to like digest it, because I did see some out of line things from the officer, the knee to the face and all of that. That was definitely a bit much. But they're out here protesting
Justice
for
filled
him.
Bay Street as people rallied on the steps of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
He was
this
a
video
great
is from a
boy,
short time
wasn't he?
after Sheriff Waters' briefing this evening. Right now, there's a petition in connection to the arrest. It's garnered more than 2,800 signatures within the past day.
Why didn't they show the whole body-worn cam video? And there was more than one. You had various officers out there. Why don't you release everything so that we have a full picture of what happened?
Now, Woods is being held on a $170,000 bond, facing several charges, including armed drug trafficking. His next court date is scheduled to happen 3 weeks from tomorrow.
What is armed drug trafficking? Can anybody tell me that? Can anybody tell me what armed drug trafficking is? Or is there's a difference, like if you do it when you're not armed? I don't know. But here's the thing. There's a lot of protests going on for justice for Lekeian, right? A lot of protests going on, justice for Lekeian. Hey, if you're in here in the live, make sure you throw a thumbs up in the chat, tap them reactions. Let's go through these stories together. We're having a real conversation. But thanks for tuning in to Purge the BS, the morning show. We're doing this a little bit different today. But I want to show you guys this other story, because before I make a whole bunch of...
the 3-year-old killed in last...
Before I make a bunch of inferences as to whether or not the beating was deserved that the young man received, if he was in any part related to this story here, I don't know how much sympathy I can have for
The
him.
3-year-old killed in last night's shooting at an apartment on Jacksonville's south side has been identified by Mad Dads as Kaylin Marie Matthews. Matthews is among the 3 people who were killed in the shooting. 4 people were shot in total. The condition of that 4th person is unknown at this time.
And with that, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office said a group of people traveled to the JTB apartments on AC Skinner Parkway to either buy or sell a dog. During the transaction, there was some sort of argument and shots were fired. News4Jax reporter Alicia Hatcher joins us live tonight from those apartments. Alicia, JSO is searching for 2 men who fled that scene last night.
So this is who they were looking for when that other situation happened, if you didn't know.
That fled this apartment complex in a black car. Investigators were seen out here late last night until early this morning, canvassing the area and collecting evidence, trying to figure out what transpired here. 3-year-old Kaylin Matthews was one of the 3 victims killed in Saturday's shooting. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says 5 people traveled to JTB apartments to buy or sell a dog. An argument broke out, and 4 of the 5 people were shot.
All right.
3 people died, including Matthews. Investigators were at the complex for several hours processing the scene. After the scene was cleared, you could see bullet holes in the walls and blood on the ground in the breezeway of the building. News4Jax spoke with retired JSO Director Tom Hackney on the process of investigating.
See, where's the outcry for this little girl? Is all I'm saying.
In a case like this is a whodunit. You have to kind of piece this back together with multiple victims, each one of those victims and the level of forensic examination that goes with the crime scene. It's just extensive.
He says it takes time to process.
You want to make sure that
I don't know about this.
In these cases, knowledge is power. The more information that you have about your victims or about the potential suspects that you have, the better off you are.
Viewers are also reacting to the shooting. Buddy S says, horrible situation, hoping the shooter is caught soon and the death penalty is sought in their case. May the victims rest in peace. Another viewer says, this is sad, but it was not the north side, east side, or west side. It just shows crime is everywhere. Prayers for all families.
It was the south side. Honestly, most cities, the south side is like one of the worst spots. So when you say south side of any city, it's kind of like, oh, south side. You know what I'm saying? So let's let her finish her
investigators are looking for two men who left this apartment complex in a black car. So if anyone has any information in connection to this shooting, you're asked to call JSO or Crime Stoppers. For now, reporting live on the south side.
So y'all get the point here, right? So some months later was when the beating video happened. And I'm just saying, where is the outcry for the little girl? Where is it? You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know about the story. I knew about the beating. I thought it was about to be a whole thing. I thought Ben Crump was getting ready to show up and Al Sharpton and all of them. They didn't show up this time. And so that's why I was like, maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's more to it. And so I looked into it and found out they were looking for somebody who had killed a 3-year-old. So me personally, if you involved in that and you're involved in drug trafficking in the area, you're obviously involved in that, according to your record. You're involved in possibly trying to rob somebody for a dog. You're involved in armed trafficking. You already have all of these things going on. You're technically dangerous the second they see you. Now, if, like I said, I know it's an ongoing investigation, but the guy was a person of interest in a case where a 3-year-old girl was just killed. And you want to stage a protest for him? This is where we messed up. Why are we holding the criminal at the, I mean, you can say what you want about Trump and his felonies and all that. Okay, let's talk about it then. Let's talk about it then, because I'm serious. I heard nothing about the little girl. All I heard about was a police brutality thing and some black kid got beat up by some police. And all of a sudden, we're supposed to be up in arms. But if you dig into it and find out this guy was like he wasn't the cream of the crop. And it doesn't mean he deserves to get kneed in the face, but if they're trying to arrest you for possibly having killed some little girl, there's a little bit less empathy I'm going to have. And sympathy, let me say that, a little bit less sympathy I'm going to have for the tactics that they use to put you under them cuffs. I'm tired of people acting like our kids don't mean nothing. The innocent kids, not the ones that's 22 years old like this guy, running around selling drugs everywhere, robbing people for dogs, trafficking, all types of charges. Dude, he shouldn't even have been on the street, honestly, in my opinion. But where's the protest for the little girl? Where's that? Where's the protest for these kids that are innocent bystanders? We over here protesting the fact that the police punched this kid in the face, and they definitely did. They tased him, and there was some movement. But I'm not mad at them police right now. I can't be, because I personally think that the real story was the little girl who got killed. And that's who they should have been holding signs up for. Justice for that little girl. This guy is obviously not helping his neighborhood if all he got is charges of basically being a criminal, a known criminal. They said he's got ties to certain gangs. That means they know this guy. They know he's not a good guy. And they're letting him run the streets. They just watch until he does something. Well, by doing that, they may have allowed him to kill a 3-year-old along with his little buddies. And every time they get beat up, all of a sudden some parent jumps on the damn thing talking about he was a good boy, would never hurt nobody. That's a damn lie. He wasn't a good boy, and he did hurt somebody. And unfortunately, when they tried to arrest him, he wasn't trying to go. You know why? Because he knew he was going to go down for a minute. He'll put up a little fight. And the police officers were well justified in taking care of that if that was the person who's a threat to that neighborhood. Because even if he didn't kill that little girl, he was obviously a menace to society. And we let them run around, and we glorify these Negroes. Obvious menace to society. Obviously not working a 9-to-5er. Obviously not taking care of a family. Obviously. And you want me to go out and hold signs and have little kids out there holding signs instead of having the little kids holding signs for the little kid that died? We're losing it. So we got people who are driving sober getting arrested. Ain't no outcry for that. We got little girls get killed, and there's no outcry for that. But then there's outcry because the guy that killed her got beat up when they arrested him. I don't know. I'm not with it, yo. I'm gonna be real. I'm not with that. You're not going to just keep directing our outcry. Didn't tell nobody nothing about that little girl. Nothing. I didn't hear nothing about it until I heard about him being beat up. And there was the outcry for that. And I'm like, oh my God, another black kid got beat up by the police. And then I go look into it and I'm like, well, he was a criminal on the run. Dangerous to society. Take him off the streets by any means necessary. And they didn't just come out there and blast him in the head and murder him in front of everybody. They took him into custody and he's going to have his day in court. That's the best I can ask for. We talking about the police killing black people? Well, they didn't kill him. And he's got a better outcome than that little girl who's no longer here. So I'm not with it no more. Y'all not going to have me protesting over pieces of trash. I'm not protesting over trash no more. I like cleaned trash. I like the trash to be cleaned up. I want the police to get rid of people that are murdering 3-year-olds. Get rid of them. Take them to jail, send them to court, and keep them away from the rest of us because they are a menace to society. And the fact that we allow our people, especially our people, I hate to say it, to be more in an uproar about the guy when he got arrested than we are about the child that he may have killed. You know what that is, y'all? You know what that is. That, my friends, is the bullshit.